Training video for PathsFL. I'm going to show you how you can create compound shapes using some of the tools in Illustrator, and also I'm going to show you how to use the eraser tool. So we're going to look at the Pathfinder Panel, the Shape Builder tool, and the eraser tool. Alright, so I'm in Illustrator. We're Adobe Illustrator. We're going to go to File, New, and we want to print, letter, inches, and this is called PathsFL. And I'm going to click Create. Alright, everybody, this is period 3. This is period 2. Period 2, check in.
Hi.
Yes, that's period 2. Okay.
Hey,
let's get it. Okay. So I'm gonna set my fill and stroke colors. Start with that. I'm gonna tear out my basic shapes. I'm gonna go up here to Window and come down to Pathfinder. Window, Pathfinder. I'm gonna hold there for a second so you guys have time to see without having to pause. Window, Pathfinder, click that. That opens up the Pathfinder panel. And I'm also going to be playing around with this Shape Builder tool right here. The Shape Builder tool. It's right there. And it is just Shift-M on the keyboard. But we're going to start with that one, actually. So I'm going to take a rectangle. I'm going to make any old rectangle. Where this is in Learn and Practice mode right now. I'm going to take a star, I'm going to click hold, and I'm going to increase the number of stars or points. By the way, look, it's in the wrong spot, right? If you hold the shift key down, you can move the shape anywhere you want, as long as you haven't let go of the mouse button yet. So you could increase and decrease the number of points on a shape, on the star tool, and you hold the shift key down and move the tool around if you want to. Okay? So I'm just going to put it there. I'm going to release the mouse, and I'm going to let go of the space bar. So that's a cool thing to know, space bar. It allows you to move the shape wherever you want. Any shape works that way. Anything works that way. All right, and I'm going to change the fill color of this so that you could see it contrasting. So you can see it's two separate shapes. I'm going to go up here to View, Outline, and that's going to let you see the paths. We talked about the paths today for our vocabulary about open and closed paths. So this shows you the paths of these two shapes, and you can see that they're overlapped. All right, I'm going to go up here to View and go back to GPU Previews, fine. All right, and start with the Shape Builder tool. Now, if I want to combine these two shapes into one shape, the best tool to use is the Pathfinder tool. I'm sorry, the Shape Builder tool. So to use that tool, you got to use the Selection tool, which is V on the keyboard, or just click it. And then I'm going to select both shapes. I'm going to make sure I have a selection box that just barely touches both shapes. Is all you need to select the whole shape. And then I'm going to go to the Shape Builder tool, and I'm going to start with the rectangle. And I'm going to click, hold, and drag into all the way across till I get both pieces of this star. And I'm going to release. And now you can see that that is now combined those two into one shape, one path. Pretty cool. If I go up here to View and go to Outline, you can see that that path now, there's just one path. It's not the combination of the two shapes anymore. Okay? So go back to View and go back to GPU Preview, and let's see what else we could do with this. Let's see if I want to use the polygon tool. So I'm going to click, hold, and decrease the sides, make a triangle. Hold the space bar down so I can move it around and get it right there. I'm going to show you another thing you can do with the Shape Builder tool. You could also use it to subtract or cut a piece out. I'm using the triangle as like a cookie cutter. I'm going to cut out a triangular shape from this shape, this compound shape that I just made. So I'm going to go back to the shape builder tool, and I'm going to go over the triangle, and you can see it shows those little dots to show it's hovered over, but it's got a little plus sign on the mouse, so on the mouse pointer. So that would be to add two shapes, but I don't. I want to subtract this, so I'm going to hold down the Option key. Notice when I hold down the Option key on the keyboard, the minus sign appears. Let go of the Option key, the plus sign. Hold down on the Option key, minus sign. Now I'm just going to click and release, and it didn't work. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I forgot to select the shapes. Got to select the shapes. It didn't know what to do. So let me try that again. I'm going to go, and I'm going to draw a triangle. Hold the space bar to get it into place. Let go. I'm going to change the fill color so you know I'm dealing with a separate shape. And also, okay, cancel. I'm also going to go to View, Outline, so you can see the paths there. You can see the paths of the triangle inside, paths of my compound shape. Go back to GPU Preview, and now I got to select it all. Best way to do it is just to Command A, to select all, Command A. I'm going to go back actually to the selection tool and do a Command A. Okay, I don't know if I got that. Let's see. What if I do that? Okay, there we go. I use the selection tool. I think I got it now. So I'm going to go back to the shape builder tool. I'm going to hover over it, hold down the Option key, and click and release. And now you can see I punched a hole into this shape. Okay, pretty cool. Now, let's talk about the Pathfinder panel and the commands on that. So I'm going to go ahead and make another shape. Space. Okay, so now I've got a couple of shapes here. Use the selection tool, select both shapes. Don't forget to do that. And if I come up to shape modes, the very first one when I hover over it says Unite. So that's going to combine the two, right? So before I do that, outline, view outline, so you could see the paths of the two separate shapes. I'm going to go back to preview mode. And I'm going to click on the Unite tool, making sure both those are selected though. I'm going to click on the Unite tool. Now I've combined those two shapes. So I use the selection tool. I can move it around. I can rotate it. Right? I can hold the Option key down to make copies. Right? Do a lot of cool stuff with that. Move this guy out of the way. So that would be the Unite. Now what if I want to cut a piece of shape out? Use one shape to cut the other shape out. So I'm going to start with a rectangle. Create that rectangle. Now I'm going to go with the ellipse tool, and I'm going to create an ellipse, and I'm going to move it. Maybe move it right about there. Now I'm going to move it right about there. And it's important that the cutting shape is on top. The shape you want to cut has to be on top of the shape you want to cut from. So I'm going to change the color so you know it's two separate shapes. I've got to use the selection tool to select both shapes. Okay. If I go up here to preview outline, you can see it's two separate shapes. And now I'm just going to come over to this tool, and it's going to be minus front. Minus front. So click that, and it will cut out. The top piece cuts the bottom piece and modifies your shape that way. Pretty good, huh? Let me Command Z and go back to those two shapes. Let's see what the next one do. The next one's intersect. So in this case, wherever the two shapes intersect, it's going to just leave that behind. So I click that, and that's the shape left behind. Using that third option. I'm going to Command Z, and I'm going to use the fourth option, which is to exclude. So it's going to get rid of the intersecting parts of the two shapes, like that. Get something like that. Okay? Pretty cool. For my advanced students, if I go up here to Object and click Ungroup, click out, click, you could see that I could actually separate those two pieces by ungrouping them. Okay? So you can see that this all of a sudden allows you to make much more complicated shapes out of the basic shape tools. Allows you to make much more complicated shapes. All right, so the last thing I want to show you, now we've got the Shape Builder tool in the Pathfinder panel, is how to use the eraser tool. Okay, so first of all, the thing to remember about the eraser tool is that it's evil. So if I click and hold, it's a brush. I'm sorry, it's a brush. I didn't mean it was evil. Did I say it was evil?
Yeah.
Why would I say a tool is evil? That's funny. All right, that's like wrong. It's just some multiple ways. So, but if I use the eraser tool, it's a brush, so I can use those bracket keys to increase and decrease the size of the brush. Any brush, this works. So if I just slice through, my shape and let go, you can see what it did. It cut that shape. Slice through. You can see that. Slice through. See? Pretty cool, huh? So that is the eraser tool. So it gives you a chance to erase, right? So if you don't want all that stuff there, you just go like that, just go like that. Okay, so that's the eraser tool. For this design, we're going to Command A, delete. I want you to start from scratch. I want you to make something cool. I want you to make something. I want to be able to look at it and see what it is. I can tell what it is. All right? So whatever it is that you decide you want to make. I just don't want a random shape. Now I want you to think about some shape that you could make in some setting. You could use all the other drawing tools, brush tool, symbols, basic shape tools to create some kind of place layout, and then have your compound shape or shapes in there, right? Don't forget compound shapes, and if you use that option key, you can drag several of them out. All right, so this is called PathsFL, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can do. Period 2, say goodbye.
Goodbye.